I feel like Unforgotten is the show that I have been searching for quite a long time. I have only seen the first episode, so I can only discuss the first episode, but I kind of wanted to just share my overexcited thoughts about my initial views of this and what I think I might expect, and ultimately why I enjoyed it and why I'm prepared to continue watching it and invest some time in this, because there are many crime dramas out there. Why have I been attracted to Unforgotten? And I think there are two reasons. The first, the protagonists. The second, well, with this episode, I love the historical aspect of the case, and that's what this show is about. It's about old cases. I'm not sure if it's all entirely cold cases or old bodies, old crimes that suddenly just rear their heads, if you like. But that's something that I love. These are not fresh crimes. I assume that that's the case throughout, as it's kind of the show's MO, as far as I can tell. And with this first episode, our protagonists, and I will discuss the characters in a moment, but I will just say I love them. They find, or a skeleton is found in the cellar of a building. Skeleton instantly suggests this is not a new crime. How are they going to be able to solve this when obviously any forensic clues are almost definitely long gone? And who is this person? And they have to start investigating, first of all, missing, I don't want to give away too much about how they do it, but missing persons from around that time. They have to obviously try and ascertain the age and the gender of the skeleton, and do they have anything on them that could help to do that. I'm not going to give any more information away because I don't want to tell you what happens, but I love that because it's so much harder to identify a skeleton than it is to identify a corpse. And the fact that they have to look into the past gives us a beautiful little historical element. Obviously, we're not talking 600-700 years ago. That would be pretty impossible to solve. But far back enough that it's like a little bit of time travel with the way the crime's solved, and a trip down memory lane for some of the characters that they interview. I really love the way that is put together and the way the narrative is told. The concept of this crime, I was very excited by, because I had no idea how they were going to solve this. This is a body that has been in the ground for decades. For all they know, it could have been thousands of years ago, but that would be a very boring, quick episode once they realised that. And I didn't know how they'd solve it, and I was so impressed with the way they pieced everything together and the way that the narrative developed. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was full of surprises. I learned quite a lot, and there's something I learned quite a bit about. It's about the manufacturing of something. I cannot go into more information because it will, spoil a little bit of the narrative and what actually happened. But I learned a random fact that I didn't know about, and really, really pleased. Narrative, tick, love it. The protagonists are brilliant. Obviously, this is just based on the first episode. I don't know what the relationship of DCI Stuart and DS Khan is like as it develops, but I get the impression that it's going to be a constant, carrying one another. We're not talking, Ellie Miller and Alec here. It's not a love-hate relationship. I get the impression from this first episode that they are going to work well together for a long time. They have very different perspectives, very different experiences, and that's going to bring them different perspectives on different cases, and that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Nicola Walker is DCI Cassie Stuart, and I love her. It's a bit awkward at this stage because the only other thing I've seen her in is Last Tango in Halifax, so I'm still kind of seeing her as her character there. But once I push past that, I think I may actually just see her as DCI Stuart, and I'm really looking forward to that. She seems to have a good head on her shoulders. She seems to know what she's talking about, but she still seems to have that zest for knowledge, which some crime drama characters no longer have because they've been at it for years and they're just fed up and want to catch the killer. Obviously, with this case and further cases, there's always the chance that the killer or killers are no longer around because of how old the case is. And that's something else I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle. I expect there will be a lot of murderers or convicts who are now very old and are, repenting their sins. And I don't know, I'm speculating on what to expect. And Sanjeev Bhaskar plays DS Sunil Khan, and I really like him in this as well. I just think they work so well together as a team. Again, just based on the first episode, that could change. I don't know, but I have a sneaky feeling that will not change. It might get stronger, but I don't think it'll change. I am really looking forward to watching the rest of this. This episode is directed by Ade Oyefeso and written by Chris Lang. There are... How many episodes are there? There are currently 4 seasons, and I believe there are about 5 or 6 episodes per season. So we're talking just over 20 episodes, each one just under an hour in length. So a couple of days of watching, but I'm going to stagger it to the best of my ability. I'm going to watch a little bit at a time, just to make it last. If you're a fan of this, feel free to tell me all of your favourite things, but try not to spoil it. No spoilers, please. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check out this first episode at least. I think you will truly adore it. It's very well crafted, and I'm ridiculously excited for what's to come.